Oh, it just so it goes straight to streaming live. I don't get to name them. Which I don't know if I care.
Yeah.
And it worked, so there's that.
That's what we want.
I know, what a fucking mess.
I mean, if you can rename it later, anyways, it's even better because there's been times when we've named it the wrong thing or whatever.
Name something wrong. Shenanigans.
I used the royal we.
I'm pretty sure I still had the support page up, and that's what XSplit was. Yeah,
it's just displaying our whole conversation to the support page.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. Hi, Beat. So, we've actually been trying to figure out XSplit for 30 minutes because all of a sudden it stopped working. So I had to use chat support to figure out how to make it a workaround, which here we are. And now I'm tired.
How are you talking to Beat?
The chat?
On where?
On YouTube?
Yeah, I'm still not getting it up on my page yet.
It's not the only thing you're not getting up.
Oh, please don't make me have to goddamn clear my cache.
Unless he made the comment never before it actually started streaming. I don't even know.
There we are.
Yeah, I wonder if I can name these before they go out. I don't even know. Who knows anymore?
All I know is that you were sexy.
Oh, I need a haircut real bad.
Oh, man. Yeah, tell me about it, sister.
I also got so goddamn sunburnt today. And then I said no to beer.
Wow.
I went to buy some new beer that was being released at a brewery, and the line was around the building. So I said nope, and I just went home.
What? I don't know what Beat's comment is about me being the Toxic Avenger. That hurts my feelings, sort of. Am I Melvin the Mop Boy? What am I in this situation, Beat?
Yeah, I don't know what's happening right now. Yeah, we just I got whoopsie drunk when we were supposed to record, and then we said, let's wait, and then here we are.
Yes.
2 weeks later.
And it's been off and on. I mean, some days it's you, some days it's me. It's been a lot of back and forth.
Yeah.
That's unfortunately, that's reasonable. We're in a situation, like, just a lot of crazy shit. My basement's been flooding for the last week. It finally seems to have dissipated, but now we got thunderstorms coming for the next 3 days.
Toxins
which is fine. We got a lot of dehumidifiers and pumps going.
Ooh.
You know, it's like a weird orgy.
Nipple pumps?
Yeah.
Nice. Love a good nipple pump.
That's true.
I'd say it's supposed to storm here, but I don't really, doesn't appear anything's coming.
Erin grabbed me down at about 4 o'clock from me working, and she's like, "It's raining. We got to go outside and dance in the rain." We went outside. It was kind of disappointing rain. It's still nice.
I'm still waiting for her to email me.
Oh, we'll get on her about it.
Can you please ask your wife to email me too?
Yeah, that's what I'm on her. That's how we get our kicks.
That's fine. Oh, you talk about me?
I hope it's a short conversation because I'm an old, sad man.
Oh, man. Well, hey, you know what's not sad? It might be old.
What is that?
The cheesy, melty, much-needed goodness of a chicken quesadilla combo from Taco Bell delivered straight to your house.
That is a delight.
Yeah.
Erin's been sending me to a lot of, like, ordering food delivered, go to McDonald's, get me this at 8 o'clock at night because everything's closed.
Yeah.
Finally, one day I was just like, enough. I will go get your McDonald's, but I'm going across the street and getting myself a Taco Bell order. And it was that.
Is that how you turn into the Toxic Avenger?
Maybe. So it was half tacos, half the burritos with, like, I had chips added to them. I don't remember what exactly it was. It was 10 things. I ate one thing. Thing and was fucking full. And I was just...
You can't reheat Taco Bell either.
No, you can, and I did, and it was not a great experience. Well, first I had the one thing, and then a few hours later, I'm like, I can get through the tacos now.
Yeah.
And then the next day, I had some of the burritos, but I still wound up throwing some Taco Bell away. I've been complaining for the last few years that Taco Bell got out of hand with their pricing on their simple ass tacos. There's no reason that a basic taco from Taco Bell should cost twice as much as a hamburger from McDonald's.
Well,
They are staples in the same dollar realm. It shouldn't be $2 for a fucking Taco Bell without sour cream. You bullshit artists.
Is
No,
it-
fuck you and your oat-filled meat, you asses. But this is a reasonable price for this box with way too much shit for a human being to consume, at least, and then walk later. And I mean, later anytime in the fucking life cycle. And no, it was a lot. It was good, but it was a lot.
is a crunchy taco really $2 by you?
I think that's what they've been. Yeah, when I try to order them on the app and stuff, I look at them like, I'm not fucking getting that.
Well,
That's a fucking highway robbery.
It says it's $1.29
That's right
here.
at the border. Well,
I-
$1.29 is still a bit high, steep for a taco.
I agree, but I also know that pricing usually is a little different based on the state that you're in.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Is I'm in Michigan.
Right.
It should be fucking cheap.
Well,
$1.29 is a taco truck taco. It is a quality, like, asada shit in there. You know, that not this bullshit ground meat stuff. Not even ground chuck.
But
Ground chip.
ground chip. How much is a diuretic from the grocery store?
Well,
More than $1.29.
I don't know. I mean, I can get my fun hole bungled by some guy behind the big lot. You know, it's just
Oh, you're just gonna go behind the big lot so that Timmy Two Toes can tickle your bung?
yeah, as long as he uses both toes.
What about being in a drunk state, Beatmaster? Oh, is $1.29 too much for a taco when you're drunk? I think is he asking?
No, that's the right time.
Yeah. If you're
That's 1 a.m. to 4 a.m. slot is the Taco Bell magic zone.
If you're
Although in California it's Jack in the Box, and fuck you, Taco Bell.
yeah, if you're sober enough that you can read the prices, you shouldn't be at Taco Bell at 2 a.m.
You don't even know what fucking card you're handing them.
Sir, you handed me a bread coupon. Just run it. That's good. There's money. I just bought donuts with it.
This is covered in blood and semen. Yeah. Yeah, it is. Turn it over. There's the fecal.
Oh, I was using it to cut lines of cocaine before. What do we
Ran
do?
out of Rob Lowe's ass.
Oh, you,
Why Rob Lowe?
I don't know.
He's a beautiful
I
person.
think you win because I have
Yeah.
nothing to say to that.
No. Hey, Matt.
Hey, Corey.
Other than this conversation, what's scaring you this week?
I don't know. I didn't do a whole lot.
That's
Sunburn?
yeah, it's kind of scary in its own right.
Yeah.
Yeah, sunburn.
Yeah, I got sunburn, and then I got my sunburn.
Now, why did you get yourself all burnish?
Well, I built a shelf for our garage, and I did that in the driveway in a sleeveless shirt, and then I mowed the lawn today. Because I'm like, oh, it's going to fucking rain, and my lawn is already so goddamn long. Had a sleeveless shirt on, just went outside, and halfway through, and I can feel my skin cooking. Like, wow, this is not going to end well.
You don't lather. You don't
I
don't-
should. I don't think about it. I just went
You don't
from, like,
cream yourself. You don't.
I'm supposed to, and I should. But like Alyssa says, she's like, at least you'll turn brown. She just peels and then turns white.
Yeah, exactly. I become more see-through.
No, I get a real dark shade of mocha.
I go right from Rock Lobster to Personal Jesus.
Oof. It's fucking weird. What's scaring you? Is Personal Jesus scaring you today?
You might have seen this. My wife posted a video that she found that she randomly saw on her Facebook feed, and she's like, "Why is Corey hanging out at somebody's pool and recording himself? That seems so unlike him. And when would he have had this opportunity?" And it was Jack Black. And apparently, my wife now gets confused. Like years ago, it was kind of cute. Then I found out every fat guy gets this comparison. I used to get mistaken a lot for Kevin Smith. In places where Kevin Smith was, I would get mistaken for Kevin Smith.
Yeah.
A few years ago, Beat was kind enough to say that I had either a Lebowski / Mark Hamill, Last Jedi thing going. That's fine. I don't know how I feel about the Jack Black, or I didn't know how I felt about the Jack Black, except two things. Two things happened. One is last Friday there was the Red Nose. I guess it's like a
Walgreens, right?
Donate money and stuff and everything. So Jack Black hosted this show that was Celebrity Escape Room. Had two of the friends on there. Had Adam Scott from Parks and Rec. Had Ben Stiller. It was fun. It was okay. He was Jack Blacking it up and had his hair in a ponytail, which made him even more looking like me. So fuck that. But Aaron thinks he's hot. I'm like, all right, it's okay, because if my wife thinks the guy's hot, then I'm doing all right.
Yeah.
But then I was watching YouTube stuff, and a video popped up, just like as you just let it randomly play, and it was the Grateful Dead's Touch of Grey, and I looked at Jerry Garcia, who is now quite dead. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh, shit. That's who I fucking look like. I look like goddamn Jerry Bear. No, Jerry Bear in the 80s when he was still alive. But I don't feel right. I don't feel like myself anymore. And I know that's an inevitability thing, because I keep joking about that I'm 50, but I'm not quite 50, but I'm pretty close to 50. And I'm definitely not trying. So this is who I am. The famous people I look like are people who are either dead or probably soon to be dead.
Well, then,
and even at the start of that, even the thing I was okay with was Kevin Smith, and we know he had a Widowmaker just a couple of years ago, right after he recorded a video called "Too Fat to Fly." So
yeah,
it's not a surprise, but it still kind of hurts.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you, bud.
Yeah. That's okay. How you been though, Matt?
Fine. Oh, it's really fucking tired all of a sudden.
Just all of a sudden, just because you were beating skins all weekend?
Yeah, well, it was Saturday morning, and then I sit around and...
That's not an American History X reference, people. That is a... People who don't know, Matt's a drummer.
Yep. Just slapping skins. No, yeah, it was really only Saturday morning. I was done by like 1, and then I was sitting around and watching everyone else, and then... Yeah.
How boring is it for you to watch the bases, really?
It's terrible. It's fucking awful.
It's almost as bad as watching you live. Right?
Even guitars isn't fun for me. You know, like... After my drums are edited, like, I really didn't need to be there anymore.
I've done all the work, guys. You just have to follow.
And that's the thing. Like, no one was there for me, so why do I have
get
to
in the pocket? Yeah, it's like I'm the starter.
Yeah. And then the guy who records this likes to talk about his 23-year-old girlfriends all the time. He's older than me, not by much, but like saying.
So not older than me.
No. He's like 2 years older than me, but he's always dating 23-year-old girls, and then doesn't know why they're insane.
Yeah.
And he would when he would finish something, he's like, "Oh, she's really clingy." Like, she's fucking 23. I mean, I don't know what you want from me. I was kind of wanted to be like, "Can you fucking just record our goddamn album and let us go?"
I mean, it's honestly something to go home to, so that's...
Well, he kept calling her Home Depot girl. And I'm like, did you have a name? Like, I feel bad calling her Home Depot girl because that's where you met her.
That's funny because that's how many people refer to my wife now.
Oh, Jesus. Well, they're not trying to take your wife home, or maybe they are. I don't know.
She ain't 23 either, but...
Well, yeah.
Still damn cute.
Well, right. This girl was kind of strange. She just showed up at one point and...
Did she work at Home Depot, or was she just, like, always at Home Depot?
I think she worked there.
Okay.
I'm like, yeah, I don't know. It's just whatever. We all know.
If your producer wants, I could introduce him to the guy behind the Big Lot.
He might be into that. I'm not even sure.
It's true. I don't know how old he is.
The guy behind the Big Lot, or
yeah, it's not not a subject of conversation.
Yeah, I don't want to really call Eric our producer either. He's just the guy that records our music. He tried to tell us to like rewrite songs, and we told him to go fuck himself.
Hey, buddy. No. Listen along to me, man. You press the buttons. You move the sliders up and down,
Yeah.
and you shut the fuck up. Don't talk over my fucking track.
And then you spend 3 hours making me sound better on drums.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what he gets paid for, though.
that is right.
But
Good gig.
huh?
Good gig.
Kind of.
Producing.
I mean, you would think, but I don't know. I don't fucking know. I think it would be fun, but I also feel like you'd have to record a lot of really bad bands to get to a point where you can just only record the bands that you want to work with.
Or
Or be
just
broke.
wondering about like making that your living in general.
Yeah, I don't know. He's been doing it for a real long time.
So people seek him out.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, depending on if you ask him, he's like the fucking creme de la creme, and people will come from far and wide. Now, that's not to say like he's done bands that have stuff on Netflix trailers, and I think he's had a couple songs that wrestlers have used for walkout music. So like, yeah, but he's like the only guy in Milwaukee.
That could just be legend, though. Like he's turned on some of his music and wrestlers have walked out. That's the real story.
No, I mean I know for a fact that is a true statement, but the whole big thing is that he licenses the music so that it can be used for that. But we're still waiting for our first CD that we did 3.5 years ago with him to get licensed, and then he had the balls to make a comment about how long it took us to come back. And then we played our music, and he goes, "What the fuck?" And I'm like, "Yeah, now you know why it took so long. So we don't write 4/4 like your fucking butt rock band." He's the singer for a butt rock band. Not a good butt rock band either. Not like Creed.
I was gonna ask, what is a butt rock band?
It's Creed.
Okay,
So tomorrow night, Scott Stapp is doing a live Instagram concert, and Alyssa's response was, "Hey, at least you're not blocked on Instagram."
that's true.
And I guess I'm trying.
On the downside of that is you might actually watch a Scott Stapp concert.
Probably not much.
Yeah.
I've watched like some live videos on his Instagram story, and it's not good.
I would say you take back to drinking and get a sunburn on your eye holes, and if possible, your inner ears.
It might not be the worst idea.
That's good. It's good that you've been productive. You've been busy. You've been
trying.
doing your wrestling show.
Yeah, and now I'm doing their website, so I had to learn how to make a website.
And I don't know how much if you recorded any of the troubleshooting from before we started
I didn't.
recording tonight.
I didn't. I waited until when it actually went live to start recording the audio, but which the website doesn't even work. So if you're not watching this video, I don't know when the audio is even going to be able to go out.
That's going to bring you the sexiest website on GeoCities.
So So speaking, because I actually made that reference earlier. So the website was hosted through the domain was hosted through GoDaddy,
Bad.
which it could be worse.
Yeah, it could absolutely.
And it's about to get worse. Everything was hosted on an FTP on like a friend of theirs server somewhere.
Oh.
And then they used the guy that did this before me, who has recently quit, basically just had a DNS record that would point at their server, and that's how he made the website. And then he was using WordPress.org, which I didn't realize was different than WordPress.com.
Right.
Org is the open source one, so he was working with opensource.org to make a new website. So like he didn't know how to log in to edit this thing or any of that shit. I figured all that out eventually, and then my smart ass is like, hey, this should really be SSL should be enabled. And then I read something, and it's like, just put an S, just append an S. And without thinking, I did it. And then there went the ability to actually access that web page.
Yep.
Couldn't edit it. Nothing fucking worked. I was talking to support.
You have to update the SSL, right?
You gotta
through the host.
Fucking Beatmaster's laughing at me. But yeah, you have to upload an SSL certificate to be able to then enable SSL. But in doing so, I'm trying to do it for free.
So we know the admin login is admin.
No,
and
it's
then the
not.
password is probably written on the back of a matchbook somewhere with Colt 45 stain on it.
So basically, long story short, I was like, hey guys, you should really do a WordPress.com website so that it's hosted so that when you go into GoDaddy, it's just there instead of having to go somewhere else to try to edit all this shit. And I talked to him, and I'm like, 3 years is only $250. So they bid on that. So then I rebuilt the website. And I'm like, oh yeah, by the way, because of this, I said the new website's it's now live.
Yeah.
So I'm like, but it just needs to be like a landing page for ticket links, because now they're using Eventbrite, which I had to set up for them too, for all their ticketing stuff. So, it's not like people aren't going to go to the website to look for show posters and stuff. Like, that's all on Facebook. This is just like a placeholder. So it's
the landing page thing is really it's kind of weird, because I keep wanting to create a website for myself for writing stuff, because I itch for the live journal days, because like I said, I'm 50. And I host the Don't Ask Comics page for Levi's stuff, for his comics, the stuff that I've worked on with him, but also all of the stuff that he does or has done on his own or with other people. And it's a WordPress site, but it's hosted on a different hosting platform. It's not WordPress.com, which I'm sure would take a lot of the hassles off of me of always having to go on an update. Plus, when I set up this thing as Comic Press or Easel or whatever to do webcomics, both those things haven't been updated in a while. And for each of his comics, I made it as kind of like a separate subdomain, because I didn't know what the hell to do to make 5 or 6 different comics in one site. It was just too crazy at that point in time. Now they got stuff that can do that. I tried taking one of the sites and updating it to this new system, and it completely fucked up that site. And it's a nightmare. And I'm kicking myself about it, but they don't, like Levi and Scott, who do that one comic together, like once every 2 years they'll put out a page. They're not worried about it. They also host it on Scott's blog and another thing. But I'm like kicking myself because now it's fucked up, and I don't know how to fix that portion, and I don't know how to take the site and just start all over again, which is what I probably should do. But there's like years and years of posting Balyar and Strobe and Shock and Spells and Levi's World and Levi's blog and everything else on these things. And I'm like, I don't want to screw this up for all this stuff. Not just because of the extra work, but because, there were occasions when people would comment. There was actual interaction with people. I blogged under every single page that I posted for the longest time. So it's a lot of stuff. But we are working on a project together that hopefully will become something going forward soon. And I'm just kind of like on that line of, do I put it into the Don't Ask Comics stuff, or do I put it onto its own site where I can start fresh and try to do something else? And then I just think, shit, but am I the person to do this? Because it does take a level of expertise, and I've done the best as I could without training, but it's hard. And like the Don't Ask Comic sites don't have SSL. They're not secure sites, because I'd have to update all of them. That's an extra cost for all 6 different sites or whatever. So I don't know, man. But all these things are just landing pages anyways. With webcomics, you go to Tapas or you go to Webtoons or whatever. Having your own site, it's nice to have something there for if the other things fail or disappear.
Right.
But it's really not where people are going to find you. They're going to find you in the other stuff. They're going to find you on Facebook or Instagram or Reddit or whatever else appeals to that kind of audience.
Yep. Yeah, but it still seems like a necessary evil to have.
It is, because you need to have control of your stuff. Like every time Facebook says, "Oh, this doesn't meet our guidelines," and they take it off, or they shadow ban you on Instagram or whatever, that's real crap. I don't know, man. It's tough, because the internet is it's a lot of super highways, and then it's all these little dirt back roads, and nobody wants to ever take those little dirt back roads. When you find it and it's like your spot, you feel great. You're like, oh, this is excellent. No one else is using this.
Right.
It's just me and my bros take this road home. Like, the cops never chase us. But then fucking the convenience of those super highways, they just rock. It's like, I can't help it. I got to take this. This gets me to where I need to go now. I can get there before I have to pee or have a baby. Like this is the fucking way, and then just everybody's there. That's where all the traffic is.
Do you want to start talking about the den, or do you have more?
No.
More
That was just
grievances
bullshit
to
to
air.
get us up to the 20-minute point, so we feel like we could actually
I mean,
talk about a movie.
Yep. Pretty sure I just blasted the recording in front of the video, but I do not care. So yeah, the den.
I think we actually mentioned that we were going to do this movie the last time we were on. It was just unfortunately 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. And I personally actually really like this movie.
Yeah,
So I
me
was,
too.
Pretty excited to talk about it again. Now, like you said, it has been quite a while. But yeah, I don't even know. I don't think there's any like named actors or actresses in it, but it is about a girl who's trying to do like a some sort of big case study on meeting random people on the internet, and she uses it's like a chat website called The Den. That's where the name comes from. Similar to Chat Roulette, I guess.
Yeah, that's
would
what
be
I
a
was thinking.
really
It
good
seemed
way
like
to-
chat roulette,
Yeah.
which I don't have experience with. It feels like one of those things. Chat roulette is probably somewhere where my wife goes and like she hears about it and then spends 20 minutes on there and gets all fucked up crazy from it and then puts it away and never looks at it again.
Yeah.
But like I have to go and look at how much spyware has just been loaded on her computer. That's what this was. This was the situation that I'm constantly just waiting for my wife to get herself into.
Yeah, so anyway, so as she's going through to find random people to talk to work on her project or whatever you want to call it, she keeps seeing a picture and it's just a girl and like there's no camera, but she keeps chatting and like sending her text chats and is like, "Hey, let's be friends." There's a bunch of
the girl
backstory that's
responds and
meaningless
she's
too.
just like, "Oh, my webcam's not working." That's the way of like, and like this movie's a few years back now, right? It's like what
2016, I think,
2006, maybe.
or is it?
It feels
18?
like it was even further back than that. Because like I said before, this movie
2013.
you recommended me when we first started talking about doing the podcast, and you said, "Oh, you should check out this flick,"
Yeah.
and I did, and then we wound up never reviewing it. We busted in other stuff. But at that point in time, even then, I feel like if you're gonna be doing a thesis on the internet and chat rooms and all this stuff for your college paper, you should at least have some understanding that some people on the internet are not who they say they are.
Right. It's more prevalent now. This was 2013, but I mean that was still a thing. I think the movie Catfish probably came out this year too, or that year. So it's probably right when internet security became more of a.
Yeah, but AOL chat rooms, there was always jokes about like that 16-year-old girl you're talking to is a 42-year-old man.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I remember when I first got dial-up internet going to the chat house. And there was like themed rooms and shit, and sometimes when my parents would go to bed, I would go to the 18-plus rooms to see movies.
Those nice pixelated 45 minutes to download a still of
Yep.
like a grayscale pixels the size of your head.
I see the top of an areola.
Yeah, when I was 12, 13, I had a Commodore 64, and there was a strip poker game for the Commodore 64 for my friends. They brought it over one time, like, yeah, we got to play this and everything. And it was all about, like, you got to beat the person that you're playing against to get them to get naked. Now, this is on a Commodore 64. 64 is not how many bits the program was. It was the amount of RAM. 64K of RAM. I think it was a 32 color system. It was nothing. It was nothing. By the way, you could also really easily just change the names of the files so that the first photo that it was showing becomes the last photo and reverse it so that they just automatically, the game starts with them naked.
Oh.
There's nothing there. Finding porn in the 80s was both difficult and disappointing.
Of my parents my parents' friends
Unless you found it in the woods.
have he has like a basement full of pinball machines, and I remember out in his garage when we were kids he had a game called Stripper, and it was literally just a joystick with a trigger on it, and it would be a picture that would show up, and you would have to shoot the clothes off of women. Yep.
That sounds very 80s too. It's like, just, this is your life goal. Shoot the
Yep.
clothes off of women. I think I've actually seen that in a couple of westerns.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, shoot the bra strap off. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was a weird time. It
It's
still is.
not saying it's a better time, but for the prevalency of every kind of porn you can think of, and a lot that you don't ever want to think about, maybe has, I don't know, has it made it better? Has it made it worse? Like, the unrealistic expectations of porn still exist, but I don't know if they exist quite to the same degree. I think maybe because there's certainly a market for pornography created by actors and actresses themselves, or female directors, maybe makes it a little bit less of the misogynist stuff doesn't exactly have the same pull, so to speak. I don't know. It's weird. At least there's... Beat says OnlyFans. Man,
What?
I didn't know what OnlyFans was. I thought it was like Patreon.
It kind of is
It kind of is,
for boobs.
but I kept making references to my wife starting either a Patreon or an OnlyFans because I didn't know what the difference was.
So it seems like if you had a Patreon for taking your clothing off or
Right.
posting pictures where you were suggestively dressed, you now have an OnlyFans.
Yeah,
So,
that's fine. It's perfectly okay. Again, the online sex worker industry took some big hits when all the laws went into place, like killed Craigslist and stuff, and all these things. Like every time you go to a page, it says, "Oh, you got to accept cookies. Come on, take our cookies, which itself sounds like a porn application. Just like, so I'm glad that is out there to protect people, to make it safer than it was becoming again. It's still just, I feel really bad that I kept implying that my wife should have one.
I mean,
Unless it pays off. I mean, good for her.
did she know what it was?
No, that thankfully, no. But I had to explain to her later on, like, hey, when I was saying that, don't never fucking listen to me. You know your audience. if you say to your audience you have an OnlyFans, like, she could probably do an OnlyFans for her art. Like, that actually seems kind of legitimate.
Probably. I don't think there's anything against using an OnlyFans to keep your clothing on.
I mean, for her artwork, which is lewd and
That's true.
lascivious and other terms that I don't know to say. But the den.
I don't know. Yeah, the den. So there's a whole lot of
den was-
backstory that I'm skipping. Just throwing that out there.
What's that?
I said there's a lot of like black backstory on who people are that I'm completely skipping, and I don't think any of it's needed
No.
personally.
It's a lot of her exploring what the site is, talking to people. Some people that she meets are normal like her. Yeah, normal, quote unquote.
Yeah.
In the sense that they're not like trying to show their cock or doing weird things or making videos that seem like people are getting killed and it's fake. That's one of the things that kind of sets it off, so that she's not sure what to believe with the girl who gets murdered.
Yeah.
Is that there's a group of people that are sitting there and they're recording themselves doing, what is the suicide, the gun, the single bullet?
Russian roulette.
Russian roulette, yes. And then once the girl shoots herself in the head, they all start laughing, including her. Which is a pretty cool video.
I mean, it was interesting. I don't know if I would go as far as to call it cool.
All right. So when I was in high school, a bunch of us convinced a teacher to let us watch Faces of Death
Okay.
in class. Now, Faces of Death. Again, this is the '80s, mid '80s, and it was rumored that people literally die in this movie, and like all this stuff they're showing is 100% real. Years have gone by, we realized that no, it was fake. It was all pretty much
Oh,
fake.
I never knew that.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
but at the time we didn't know any better, and there was a whole series. They just kept putting them out, and everything got worse and worse. But in the original Faces of Death, I guess people have come out and said, "Yeah, I was part of the film crew, and it wasn't right. It wasn't real or anything. It was all fake." Sure, but you don't know. When you're watching this stuff on the internet, some of these things, you see someone getting killed or getting brutalized or whatever, and you don't know if it's real or not. And how are you supposed to? Effects and things have gotten so pronounced that, like, even since this movie came out, the deepfake stuff is just crazy. I saw some movie where they did Jim Carrey instead of Jack Nicholson in The Shining. They did Bill Hader's face over somebody the other day I saw in some role, and it was like, that's pretty intensely good. Plus, you want to kind of see Bill Hader play the part.
Yeah.
So I can see what happens where she sees this girl get killed. She's convinced that it's real. She goes to the cops, and the cops say, yeah, it's probably fake. But what else can the cops do? And with the internet, really, what can you do with this stuff? Like, I think that's something that's gotten harder and harder. Is at that point in time, we had firewalls, but we didn't have a lot of VPN stuff. But it's not like I feel that the police have gotten the cops that you can just go and talk to a cop have gotten a lot better at tracking this stuff or cracking for this stuff. We've got people who get swatted. You know,
Yeah.
Gregor, who I do Elsenerds with, got swatted in his home when we were recording a show.
What? I didn't never knew that.
Oh yeah, that was a scary freaking thing. And what's supposed to happen? You know, how do we improve this? How do we improve this without giving up the privacy that the internet affords us? You know, the legal rights of having the ability to protect who you are and your family and your home and stuff. It's really weird.
Mm-hmm.
But that's kind of what this movie's about. Is that this movie is about this woman who is doing this thing for this project, and then the people who are on the den that find her and start manipulating her start fucking with her life. Right?
For like no real reason other than she was there. She responded when they sent her a message.
She responded. Her friend cursed somebody out for doing something on one of the videos when her friend was over watching, and they like built up a really good vendetta against her. But yeah, that's kind of the other thing we'll get to at the ending of it, is that the reasoning behind it and how deep it goes gets pretty nuts. But one of the things that happens is she's dating this guy, and the guy comes over and starts having sex with her in her room. First, doesn't like let her know that he's there, and she about beats the shit out of him. And then they go at it, and she's got her laptop open, and that's another one of those things where it's like you don't have a camera facing your bed ever. You don't do that unless, of course, you know you have an OnlyFans.
You're not wrong.
But there was a story a few years ago about a high school that had supplied students with laptops, which was a normal thing to do. But they had installed software where they could, and sometimes did, turn on the cameras on the computers without letting the students know.
Mm-hmm.
So some girl has her laptop in her room, the camera turns on, and you can see where their lawsuit came from that. This is... workplaces and stuff now track this equipment. They track how you use the equipment. They track your time spent on the equipment. This is kind of like, it's a scary time to have this stuff, but we walk around with cell phones that track our movements all over the place. You know, track everything we do. We spend more and more time in front of them anyway. And they recognize us by our face and our voice and our fingerprints.
Yeah.
Like, that was every goddamn spy movie from the 60s on up. Is mm-hmm. Like, you get their face, you get their fingerprints, you get their voice, and you can break into whatever magic vault they have in this. So that's kind of part of why I like this movie. Now, this movie reminds me of one of your favorite movies, Strangeland.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Strangeland was like a very early version of this, and then there's a couple other movies that are pretty similar to this that I can't remember the name. Unfriended, I think, is the big one.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that came out around the same time you mentioned that.
Yeah. So, yeah, and maybe that's why they never made Strangeland 2, is because they were making other movies that were pretty much the same thing. Strangeland was very ahead of its time. Let's throw that out there.
And definitely focuses more on the person that is doing this to the victim than this movie does. This movie is really all about her and the things that happen to her and the people around her because of her going and getting involved in the den. They don't really explain how they get into her computer so easily. You know, she's got the guy friend that obviously wants to be more than friends that is like, oh yeah, your computer got hacked, but he's supposed to be her tech guy and he's supposed to be doing this stuff to protect her, and everything gets really fucked up, and they never show like a keylogger getting installed or any like special links she opens up. It's just like she goes to the site and the stuff starts installing, which I know malware from websites absolutely was a big thing that could happen. You know, it could self-install in the background, you wouldn't see it. That was why UAC got put into Windows Vista, I think, is the first time where UAC kind of came about.
Yep.
And people hated it, and they would just turn it off and kill the entire reason of having it. And so Windows 7, they made it a little better, and they've improved it as they've gone along. Yeah, Windows improved.
I mean, to be perfectly honest, I turn off UAC.
A lot of people do.
But I also would consider myself a more than average user.
Yep.
So I understand what I'm doing when I do it.
Yeah, how did that API work out trying to get YouTube to work today?
We didn't even fucking end up using it.
I'm just teasing.
I know, but it's like, God, fucking...
Two tech guys in here trying to struggle through getting this thing to work that you just used the last time 3 weeks ago. It's such a pain in the ass.
Yeah, nothing changed. I mean, I guess it's the nature of the beast. But the error message that we got also didn't really say much of anything.
No.
So there's that.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the thing, is that all the things that we put in place to protect us from this stuff, people don't really want. Unless you make it super easy, and that's what the face recognition thing is on phones, is like it's that even simpler than putting your finger on the fingerprint reader, less secure.
Yeah.
But we will give up security for convenience. We will give up security for Amazon speakers and stuff in our house. We will give up security for cell phones. We will have cameras that go right to the cops, you know, which seems like it should be a security thing, but also kind of a questionable thing. But that's what we're at. The whole price of convenience is to give up the stuff that you should maybe think about more, but it's just so shiny and pretty. It's exciting. It's exciting to have this stuff.
Something.
So our poor lead in this, she starts having kind of breakdowns. Her boyfriend disappears. We see her boyfriend get kidnapped. He's like trying to call her or talk to her on his phone, and she gets disconnected or she walks away. And we see that as he gets in his car, somebody's in the back seat and takes him. She goes to the police about that. The police are just like, you know, you're bothering us too much. Go away. They move him out of his house. They leave a laptop sitting there running. So she goes there with the cops, and the cops are like, yeah, he just left. You know, you're crazy. He just left you. Her best friend calls her over to the house. She gets over there, and her friend is in a tub having just slashed her wrists, although that's not actually what happens. Her sister, who is pregnant, gets attacked in her house. It just escalates and escalates. The people email the video of her having sex with her boyfriend to her boss, so she loses her job, essentially. She gets put on leave and loses the money that she was making from doing the study in the first place. So everything is just kind of like tearing her down and destroying her life, which we find out is the point. Are you still there?
Yeah. It was like kind of a weird twist, and I guess I don't know if it really needed to happen, but
It gives you a giant kind of conspiracy thing to pay off. Whereas when we watched way back when Megan is Missing,
yes.
Megan is Missing it's very similar in the pulling somebody in through the web stuff, convincing them that you're somebody that you're not, and taking advantage of that ignorance to kidnap them and kill them. But Megan is Missing was about one guy doing it to one person. This turns out to be a whole cabal of people that are doing it. They're making big money off of broadcasting this to people, which is the part that I wasn't quite sure of. It makes a very effective ending for this.
Mm-hmm.
In a couple of ways. One is we see her show up in the place where they've kidnapped her. We see her boyfriend is there. They show her a video of them killing her friend, her hacker friend, her tech friend. She thinks it's live, but it was recorded days ago, her boyfriend tells her. Then they kill her boyfriend, and then she winds up breaking out and getting away. And it gets a very House of a Thousand Corpses / Texas Chainsaw Massacre feel, because it's out in kind of a desert area and all these weird tunnels and things. It's a cool scene, but they chase her down and it looks like she's going to get away, and then they hit her with another car and they pull her back in, and then they show the video of her being killed to one of the people that she met online to kind of entice her to pull her in to make her the next victim. When they do that, they show somebody watching it, and it's the advertisement for give us your credit card now and buy your way into seeing this person's life get destroyed and us kill them. And it's just this normal seeming dude whose kid comes in the room and is like, hey, Dad, you want to go play ball or whatever? And he's like, yeah, give me just a minute. And he starts putting in his credit card to be able to watch this. So does he think it's real? I imagine the expense is pretty high for this kind of entertainment. Right. I also imagine that what they are advertising to is an elite class of people. It's not just something you're putting a link up and saying, oh, yeah, come watch snuff films on the internet. Live and in progress. Like that's some dark web shit.
Yeah, but I guess it all comes full circle to what you were talking about earlier about Faces of Death. Is it real?
Right.
Or is it like we're watching a movie assuming it's a movie? Could it be real?
Well, now what we watch most of the time is stuff that is very obviously dramatical fiction. Mm-hmm. There's nothing that makes us think that it's real. But a couple weeks ago, we did the Blair Witch Project, which we talked about when it came out. A lot of people, myself included, were convinced that it was real. Mm-hmm. It was campaigned in such a way that made it seem like it was supposed to be real, which is really cool. Kind of ridiculous when you think back on it now, but at the time, it was like that was a great, solid job that they did to make people believe that.
Right. It's the same with Cannibal Holocaust.
Right.
I mean, have been movies over time where people were convinced it was real, and it really ended up not being real.
Yeah, except for the stuff with the turtle. Poor turtle.
I didn't care for that.
Yeah, no, that's not cool. But when you're talking about what the cost probably is to make this thing happen and what they're charging the people to witness it, like is it cost prohibitive that you think, well, if they're charging me $3,000 a month to watch this, or $10,000 to go to watch this whole ordeal, then it must be real. The higher the cost, the more value I see in what it must be. It's kind of like popular art. Right. You find a popular artist. It's not that the art is any better or any worse than anybody else's artwork, but it's marketed in such a way and it's priced at such a high point that you think, well, then it's got to be worth a fortune. Because someone put the value to it, and I bought into that value, and other people are buying into that value. That can be effective too. Popular music, same way. You know, you keep parading the same type of people out in front of us, the same looks, the same ideas and things, and we just get convinced, well, that's good music, or that's, you know, that's a popular celebrity, so they are worth my time of investment. But that's really subjective.
Yes. And I feel like you could say that with a lot of things, though.
Yeah, absolutely, you can. But this is taking that to an extreme, and it's taking it to a very weird, but interesting extreme. Interesting is gross because it's like it's horrifying. But
Yeah.
But would the snuff aspect work? Like we've talked, not we, but I know that there's been talk years about like putting people who are on death row, putting their executions on TV. There was a movie either in the late 80s or the early 90s where they did something like that. Like it was about, we're going to start broadcasting executions, and the whole movie was the concept of it. When you get to things like wrestling, we kind of see it as fake a lot of the time.
Yeah.
But UFC stuff we see is real.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the measures taken back of like the protection of like, you can only do this, you can only hit this hard or this in these areas and that kind of thing. But if you take that away and it becomes a blood sport, way more enticing because of the danger. It's like watching NASCAR for car crashes or watching hockey for the fights. When the shit gets real is when it gets exciting. And anything else is like, well, I don't watch basketball. Basketball's tame. No one gets hurt. You know, no one really gets hurt, you know, unless they wear shitty shoes. I'm pulling all my sports knowledge out right now. And so that's the thing. We've got Erica just showed up in our chat.
It's about time we wrap this one up.
Erica's Apex in the Abyss got me through a very long search for coffee earlier this week. It was also a really good episode, but
I hate to admit it, but I agree. I do love that story.
Yeah, the Craigslist killer thing was, and she did an excellent job of it, which is why I listen to her show. But the whole concept of, you know, we've got a fascination with serial killers, we've got a fascination with true crime. Mm-hmm. Same sort of deal. It's because the stakes are high. You can watch episodes of Homicide and Law and Order SVU, but you can also watch or listen to stories of real serial killers, you know, people who have actually been murdered, the real victims, and that's more exciting. You know, that it's really it's interesting because of the exploration of human nature, of the animal nature of these people, that kind of stuff. But it's also just because this literally happened. You know, you talk about the ghost story stuff, the people who go like ghost hunting and those shows, and those all seem pretty obviously fake. But when you have that experience of like when you feel like something actually is real, that occurrence could be true, man, you just get the tingles. You know, we watch horror movies. Mm-hmm. We watch horror movies because they're exciting, because they're enticing in a way. The adrenaline kick. But I don't know. Like, where is my limit of, is it okay that it's fake, or would I really enjoy seeing someone get chopped up? I don't think I would.
No, I mean, no part of me. I like. I saw the video of the guy in Iraq get his head cut off, and like I don't really ever need to see that again.
The really horrific crimes against a couple of African American people that have been happening the last couple of months. Mm-hmm. I've seen the videos get posted. I can't watch them. I know exactly what it's going to be, and it's just disgusting and awful. And I'm glad that stuff is out there. I can't personally watch it happen. You know, it's just too much for me.
Yeah, that makes sense. Where are we in the movie?
I kind of feel like we finished the movie. The end of the movie is her. You root for her at the end. It really does feel like that moment of like she's fighting her way out, and you hope that it's gonna break free. But then that's not really where this movie is gonna finish. It can't. It just can't. If she escapes, then the whole thing's ruined. Plus, they went crazy though. They like killed a bunch of cops.
Yeah.
It really should be exposed. It should be taken more seriously. But there was no way she could get away. And it does need to continue. The thing is that this stuff happens, and then how do they track it? They're still in the same position of like, what do they see this as? How do they follow up with it? And some of them, we kind of figure are cops by the end of it.
Yeah. Did they ever make a second one of these?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't even think to look to see if there's a sequel to this one. Like you said, there were so many other movies that were like it that I just couldn't.
Yeah, because there was Dark Web was another similar one. That what was it called? I can't remember what the fuck it was called. But there was the second one of that, and it was a similar like through camera only movies.
Yeah, the through camera thing has gotten. I'm glad that it hasn't happened in a lot of stuff. I think Paranormal Activity 4 was that where they stopped doing the video cameras on the house and it was more about the girl looking in her computer. But they've done episodes of Modern Family where they've done that. They've done other things where it's through the iPhone and Mac OS computers, which is just an advertisement for Apple.
They pay good money for that. By the way, the website's working again.
This whole thing is probably an advertisement for 4chan, but
it might be. So, would you marry, fuck, or kill said movie?
So I hadn't seen this for a long time, but it definitely stuck in my head.
Yeah.
And rewatching it, yeah, it was fun. Not fun, like
it's an enjoyable film.
Yeah, it's a good job. It's a good job of this kind of film. Like, it's not the greatest thing in the world, but I would definitely marry it. It's one that I would keep around. I feel like I want to share this movie with other people in the, you probably haven't seen The Den. Like, that's one you should check out.
Yeah.
I feel better sharing this than I do about Megan is Missing. Because
Megan is Missing is a difficult movie.
That was
It's
rough.
good. It's just, yeah.
Yeah. But that's like, I'll tell a friend, you want to get creeped out, watch The Den. I won't tell many people, watch Megan is Missing for a nice Friday night ride.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know.
You don't know. Well, we do know that our next show we're going to have
some fuck and some terrific lady.
So they're going to assume that you're just talking about cross-dressing versions of Erica and Dan.
Kinda.
Next show is going to be Jack and Hillary.
Yes. We're gonna, Alien versus Predator Requiem.
Yes.
Not really a horror movie, but they suggested it, and that's less work for me. So
well, the last time we had Hillary on, it was an Alien movie. It was I think the Joss Whedon one, and we had such a good time talking about that I do believe we talked about having her back to do another one. So
it works.
And we get Jack, which is also fun too.
Where is he when I need him to scream, "You got jacked"?
Next week.
Yeah,
you'll get sufficiently jacked.
Yeah, it'll be, if you like watching it live, it's going to be Tuesday at 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 Central.
Yep.
Because that's what worked for him. Yeah.
Matt, where can people find you and find your stuff and support you?
In your butt.
That is right, on the Monster Madness podcast.
Yeah, I do that. I do this. Drown the Lifeguard has a CD coming out sometime in 2020. It's hard to tell with everything.
Where should they go to find out about Drown the Lifeguard? Maybe find past albums and things.
In your butt.
Yep, that's right.
The first EP is streaming on Spotify and iTunes or Bandcamp for free download. There's some physical copies left. There's some shirts. There's some beer glasses left, but trying to get rid of all of them so we can do new stuff with the new EP. Might be doing vinyl. Who knows? We'll see.
That'd be sexy.
Well, it's so the new EP is so short that I can put it on a 10-inch.
I could fit 3 on those.
Yeah, I figured out I could do a 12-inch, one-sided 12-inch. That's how short it is. Yeah, Hey, man. It's not about.
I'm sorry, I just bit into my tongue to keep
Oh.
the comments from coming out. And
Oh.
all the blood is rushing down the back of my throat now.
Oh.
Tastes like victory.
Where can people find yous and your comics?
We were talking earlier about donutcomics.com. Levi's World is part of that. Levi has been posting the entire series of his graphic novel, Insanity is a Virtue. He's on the final 6th issue, I believe, now. So you can catch up on all that. You can read the other stuff that we've got there. Bauyar, Shock, Strobe. Oh, well, Shock, like I said, I'm going to screw up that site. But it's all still there. And that would be a fun time, I think. And maybe something else coming up soon. I hope.
Yay!
It may even relate to the other podcast that I do just for Levi Krauss.
Yay!
It comes out almost as often as this one,
Oh,
but more often than else, nerd.
Yay! Sorry. Were you done? I just was being an ass. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay. So I guess that'll do it for another episode of Podcast of Terrell. The Podcast of Terrell?
Yeah.
Podcast of Terrell Owens. Football superstar. I haven't even been drinking.
Nope. This is a sober Matt. This is what you get.
Yep.
That's what we all ask for. Fuck us for trying.
You could email us at pod@gncast.com and let me know if you prefer me drunk or sober. I'd be curious to know. But yeah, we'll be back next week with another one. So
I prefer you non-resistant.
Either way,
Yeah.
drunk or sober, I'm non-resistant to you.
I mean, a little bit of a fight is nice.
So maybe kind of. We need to be like medium twinkly.
Yeah. Where do you fall on the scale to belligerent, Matt?
Tequila.
Oh, or anytime Erica's in the room.
Oh yeah, anytime that fucking.
Why do I feed you? Why do I feed you this?
I don't know. No. Tequila's the only thing that makes me mad. Or makes me an angry drunk.
That is an angry drink.
Yeah. Beer just makes me giggly and happy. Until I've had too much and then I get quiet because I want the world to stop spinning. I know my limits.
You don't.
Shut up. That's going to do it for another episode of Podcast of Terror. We'll talk to you guys next week.
Stay scary, everybody.
All right. I am not going to stop YouTube yet.
Uh-oh.
What?
I don't know.
Oh, I feel like Beatmaster is smarter than me, and I need to figure out this SSL cert. Plus, I got to edit this. What?
Just nothing.
Oh. Plus, I got to edit this anyways, and since the website's back up, I can post it right away.
Yeah. Did they say what was wrong with the site?
Something.
Probably WordPress update.
HostGator, probably because Matt tried to host his OnlyFans on it. Fuck you, Beat. So something about movie sign, and they're trying to figure out why HostGator admin put a temporary block on the site. Huh. Yeah, weird. Yeah, so I guess it was something to do. Yeah, so Erica's making fun of me because we did an episode of Monster Madness and I forgot to save my audio. So.
And you do that separately? Like what I do for this?
Yep.
Which I
Because
think I might have forgotten to do for this one now.
I mean, I got it all. So
Yeah, I know.
and I hit save, so we're good. Yeah, because her and Dan split editing, and they
Right.
don't make me do anything. So
Yeah, isn't that the life?
dude, it's fucking great, isn't it? Now I know how
Someday
you feel.
somebody is going to produce a show for Beatmaster. It's not going to be me. I'm going to fuck that up.
I do it for other people. I'll do it for Beat. Just can we call it the Beat Hour?
We need to find someone else named Beat, and we can do a beat off.
Oh yeah. All right. There's got to be another Beat out there somewhere.
Yeah, not enough beats on the internet.
Beat squared.
Cubed.
Beat cute. We need to find a third Beat now.
Yeah.
Beat and beat.
Beat. Now we sound like Tweaky from Buck Rogers. That's a reference that nobody else is going to get.
Yeah,
I'm okay.
you've dated yourself.
Beat it.
Why is Kevin Howard
Shit, my
live?
wife does not know this T-shirt, so I'm wearing a Uncle Pecos T-shirt. It says Crambone at the bottom. Yeah, you looking confused? I accept. My wife doesn't know this.
Sorry. Previous guest and friend Kevin Howard he's cutting his hair live on Facebook. It's just fucking him in the shower shaving. Oh man.
Levi knows it.
Yeah. Your first OnlyFans. Beatmaster, how much am I charging for my OnlyFans these days?
Not enough.
I guess not, but I only have one subscriber, so maybe I should up it. Okay.
I think up it is how you get more subscribers. I already told you that's the thing. You gotta up that price to make the value seem like it's already there.
That's okay. Okay, so I'm not gonna lie. I have looked at some of these OnlyFans because I'm curious what some of these internet sluts are charging, and some of them are like $30.
Performers. Internet performers.
I did not mean that in a derogatory way because I am the first to admit my love of pornography. But it's like $30 a month, and then you have to pay per video that they send you.
Huh.
So it's like you pay for them to send you videos so that you can then pay more for shit, and it's just kind of it seems kind of like a racket in that sense.
It is sort of a racket, but again, it's the value of however you perceive it.
Well, and
If it's not worth the $30, so are they making videos directly for you at that thing?
nope. So it sounds like what it is you see like a Twitter feed, and then you get a message, and it says like, "Hey, here's a picture of me jamming a bat in my ass. Pay $6 to unlock the video." So it's like, so I'm paying $30 just to see that you've made this video, and then I now have to pay $6 more to see you put a baseball bat in your ass.
So it's like Costco.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah,
Actually, it's exactly like Costco.
I think they actually have that service at Sam's Club.
Oh, where they put a bat in your ass?
I believe I've seen that happen at Walmart, and since it's the same ownership, I assume.
What?
No, I'm kidding.
What is Hillary's last name?
Man,
I was like,
I
I could
believe.
look it up, but I could also just ask you. Yes, you are correct.
Hillary with one L.
I got that part right.
All right, just making
Shocker.
sure.
Once in a while, I do something right.
That's true. It's called Monster Madness. It's a damn good show.
Erica and they do all the work.
But you are entertaining on it.
Yeah.
They keep letting you show up.
Yeah, that's
And
because
you won the quiz off this season. Like, you kind of destroyed Dan on the quizzes.
season's not done.
Oh, well, I think the quizzes are.
No.
Well, how far behind am I on episodes? Because the one that just came out was...
I think Erica fudged the numbers so that Dan could come back.
Oh, okay, good.
Because we're now... he's one behind me? I don't know. Whatever. I'm not there to win.
The last episode I listened to, it sounded like it was pretty much done.
Yeah, I thought so too. And then all of a sudden she's like, well, if you win every single one for the rest of it, you can win. I'm like, what? Now all of a sudden he's...
Well, that just makes me more excited because that means the season's still going.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it would have...
I just worried that we had another break coming up.
No, I think they come out... Erica can answer this better than I can. Actually, I can... if I ask her, she's going to say, look at the fucking Airtable, you fuckface. And then I'm going to have to call her pet name is Airafuck. July 20th is the last for episode or for season 2.
Okay.
And then I don't think there's going to be much of a And I don't know if Erica's even still here anymore. But
No, why would she stick around for all the niceties you were throwing her way?
well, whatever. She knows what she got herself into. I don't know how long gap. Oh, it was like fucking almost 4 months. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it'll be as long of a gap between the seasons, but
If it is, it's worth waiting for.
I think when we went to every other week instead of every week, we decided to limit the time between seasons. So I don't know. Erica said we're like number 7 in Turkey for movie podcasts, and I'm like, that's weird. I'm still not rich, so I don't really.
So what is the thing with the ads on her show?
What do you mean?
Well, because I was listening to Apex and the Abyss, and they were like 6 Comcast commercials.
Once again, she would answer it better, but I know that whoever hosts us now, like they will pay for, they'll put like certain ads based on what you approve or some shit.
Okay, because I haven't heard them on Monster Madness. I don't think there's that perfect point where there's the break where she plays "Let's Go Out to the Lobby," so it seems like that's where a commercial would go. But on Apex and the Abyss, there were 3 sets of 2 of this Comcast commercial. And I was wondering if it was my podcatcher that was doing it, but I only really heard them on her show, so I kind of realized that it was. Good that she's getting ads. I'm glad for that.
Well, they're supposed to be putting ads on Monster Madness too, but she handles all of that. To be perfectly transparent, it feels like it's been an eternity since I have posted an episode. I'm like having a hard time remembering what to do.
Because you've never done it sober.
There's that. I usually just like wake up and there's a new podcast.
It's like, oh wow, Corey did a show last night. Who did he do it with? Oh, I guess it's me.
Oh shit. I got to the process in which I should upload the audio and then realized that I never finished putting it together. So we're off to a good start.
Yeah, we're fine. We're good. Are you going to change the music when your new album comes out?
I was just thinking about that. I probably could. I mean, I know I can.
I mean, it's fine with me.
Yeah, I didn't think you'd mind. Probably. I'm waiting to get the first set of mixes. And then we have to... we sell through vocals. So because we had to take such a long break, Nate's voice, healed. so he wants to get a bunch of practices in where he can tear his throat up before he goes into the studio, which I completely understand.
I just love that that's a complete opposite of any other singer ever.
Yeah. Well,
Adele has to take a break from touring because her vocal cords have a cyst on or whatever. Yep. And you're like, oh, Nick got a little too healthy. Can't sing shit for our band anymore.
Yes. Yeah. So it's it's odd. It's a weird thing to say, I guess. But the thing is we could all practice at home without each other.
I'm calling him Phoebe from now on because that's definitely something that happened in Friends.
Yeah, that's fine. We can all practice at home, and he can't. I guess he can, but it's not the same. I can recreate practicing. It's different for him to scream in a car. You know what I mean? It's
you gleeked out on me.
Oh, I said it's different to scream in a car. To yourself or to a CD instead of in a room full of loud instruments.
Well, that's the truth too. Is that if I want to sing along to the radio in my car, I need everything to be really closed up and nobody else around, and maybe even not even people driving on the same highway, for me to fucking unleash.
Yeah.
If Aaron's in the car, I'm like, sing me away, that kind of shit, and it's a totally different fucking beast.
No, and I agree. And the weirdest thing is the 5th song that we wrote entirely in isolation.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, and he had no complaints with how it was arranged or anything.
Although I do remember Travis.
Yep.
The video that he did with his friend where they were doing a
The
Death metal version of driving a stick shift.
Yes.
That was fucking great.
Yeah. They Abiotic is recording a new album right now.
Oh, good.
I think I have not talked to Travis in a very long time.
I haven't seen him post anything in a long time.
He got a girlfriend and stopped talking to me.
Well, his girlfriend seems pretty
Admittedly.
fucking awesome.
Well, right, but yeah.
Like, I might drop you.
Oh, that's fine.
If it was necessary, and I don't think it was necessary.
I imagine if they tour through the area again, I had briefly spoke to them when they were going to be out in Minneapolis, and I just couldn't make it work.
Yeah.
But I'm sure if they're in the area and I can see him, it won't be a big deal.
I was just super stoked that I got to meet him when you came to San Francisco.
Yeah, he's a fucking sweetheart of a human being.
Really sweet. I unfortunately don't remember his friend's name, but he was really nice too.
Yeah, I don't remember his friend's name either.
Yeah, it was a good time though.
He gave me drugs.
Oh, good for him.
Wow. I was in
And you.
California.
All right.
Yeah, except I didn't want to walk past any hobos to get anything to start it on fire with, so I just tried eating it. It didn't work.
It was a weird time that week.
Yeah. A lot of hobos everywhere out there.
Oh, that's a normal thing, but
Yeah.
like there was the murders and shit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that guy got shot when I was trying to find something for breakfast.
And this last week, San Francisco, one of the piers just caught on fire, burned up.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, I think it was Pier 44.
Oof. Not Pier 1, the store.
No.
Be better if it was...
That's all foreign shit. We don't. It's all wicker. That'll go up in a gasp.
That's true. It'll start itself on fire.
Yeah.
Fuck. All right. Just patiently
Aaron-
waiting.
Tried somebody's CBD oil
Mhm.
the other day,
What'd she think?
and it worked out really well for her.
Yeah.
Like, she felt really relaxed. She didn't have any of her normal pains and stuff. So I guess that's something that we're going to look at now.
I mean, she could just go full strength there. It is recreational, but I don't know what her
But,
job
yeah.
says or whatever.
Yeah, I don't. It's probably nothing, but no, it's just whatever works for her, man. That's
No,
what
I
care
agree.
about.
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree. It's like weird now that you can get like different blends of flour and stuff that'll do different things. And I just remember I was like, well, here's fucking CBD oil. Take it or leave it. And now they have
No,
like
man.
flavored ones.
When I was doing jobs for that medical marijuana place in California, when I was still working for Geek Squad, like just the array, like I don't know what I expected going in, but I wasn't expecting what I saw there. That it was insanity, and that was 10-something years ago.
Yeah, it's only gotten worse too, and but I don't mean worse in a bad way.
Right.
There's just it's quite daunting
Yeah.
when you go to a place like that. Yeah, when I was out in Denver, I did obviously, and Pete. Yeah, never mind. He said CBD gives you no buzz. CBD for the win. Like, yeah, but some people like to get high.
Some people do.
Yeah. But yeah, when I was out in Denver, you like talk to a guy and like you've seen Half Baked, right?
No.
You've never seen Half Baked. Okay, so there's
Never
a
seen
scene where they
Half-Baked.
have marijuana delivered to them, and the guy's like talking in depth about the like the piney flavor and stuff, and Dave Chappelle just goes, "What'd you go to fucking weed college?" And it's like that's exactly what it's like, because the guy was like, "Hey man, what are you looking for?" And I'm like, honestly, I just sorry, I was reading what Pete said. I said I just want a little bit of everything. I'm here for a couple days for work. I said, let's get a nice spread, and then it was just he was off to the races. He's like, get this for this, and he was trying to sell me some like $15 joint that is, he's like it had like 3 kinds in it, and I was like, I will fucking die. And he just kind of stared, goes, dude, worst case you get really really high. I'm like, that's not always a good thing. That can be very scary, sir. Pete, have you seen How High 2? I haven't watched it yet. Curious if it's any good. And then, yeah. The episode is now posted.
Right on.
I gotta fucking wait.
Good. We still know how to do this.
Yeah, it's just like it used to be second nature. I needed to spend 45 seconds and think it through this time. Really not a big deal. What the fuck? People are dumb. I don't like dumb people.
Well, fuck you too, man.
Wasn't saying you were dumb.
I know. Beat is asking, there's a sequel to How High?
Yeah, it's on Netflix only. I think it's Wiz Khalifa, isn't it? One of those like now famous rappers is in it. At least, and I should say it's on Netflix in America. Oh, no, it's not Meth Man and Red Man. It's... No, I gotta look this up. And that was kind of why I didn't really care to watch it. How High 2... Little Yachty and DC Young Fly. Huh. It got a 2.9 out of 10 on IMDb. So, it's probably pretty good.
It's probably good.
I should rewatch How High. It has been a very long time. All right. I got a bunch of fucking tutoring emails I need to answer. But it is live, and thank you. It was
glad we got back to it.
Yeah, I'm glad that fucking XSplit ended up behaving. But yeah, I'm sure I'll talk to you soon. Yeah.
All right.
My brain is falling apart right now, so.
I understand, man.
Yes, Beat, stay safe, healthy. Thanks for hanging out. Levi, if you're still here, thank you. Erica, if you're still here, eat a fucking bar of soap. And then we will see you guys all next Tuesday.